Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. All praise, honor, infinite glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. All right, I want to give all praises, honor, infinite glory again to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Okay? All right? Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And citations to the elect that pushes truth in all sincerity. The water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for allowing me to do another video. Alright, I want to give Shalom, alright, to the hopeful elect that's listening and learning and keep their garments clean. Alright. Okay. Today's video I want to talk about new strand of the virus. Who can send back the plagues of the Lord? Alright, so in this video, alright, basically I'm going to be going into, just talk about a little bit. Basically, there's a new strand of the Crown 19, okay? They said that basically mutated into a new strand, okay? All right. So let's get these videos, okay? Get these two videos at the top right here, all right? And get some precepts, and then that'll be the end of the lesson.
Meanwhile, in Britain, Prime Minister Boris Johnson will meet again with senior members of his cabinet today. They held an emergency meeting last night to deal with a new strain of coronavirus that's emerged in southern England. A leading scientist is calling it, quote, a real cause for concern. The CBC's Dominic Velitis has more. Dom, let's talk about what we're learning about the concerns and the more that we're seeing today. What's the latest?
Yeah, John, those concerns are certainly growing about this new strain and really the general picture in the UK, especially in England, where cases are surging and hospitals are nearing capacity. Now, Boris Johnson reportedly chaired that emergency meeting with ministers last night. They have been meeting again today. A press conference is going to be held in about an hour. But we also know, John, that Boris Johnson has held a conference call today with the leaders of Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Off the back of that meeting, Northern Ireland's Arlene Foster described this new strain as very concerning. Scotland's Nicola Sturgeon said preventative action may well be needed.
So basically they talk about how, the different ESOL's officials, they basically talk about how the strand, it doesn't seem to be dangerous. That's what they said. That's what they're claiming. They're just saying it's more contagious based on as far as they know. That's what they're basically saying. Okay? But they said they need to do more research to find out, more about it. But what they know so far, just that it's more contagious. A more contagious form of the Crown 19. Okay? Now, we obviously know prophecy-wise, there's going to be a lot of plagues. Okay, actual real plagues and pestilence, okay, different diseases out here, and actual straight up hardcore viruses that would flat out be out here putting people to smooth to death, okay, so, E obviously being a mad scientist, okay, and different movies you see, he basically shows you that there's always, lots of times he would have a particular virus out and then it would mutate into a much worse form, okay, like that's, lots of times it shows that in different movies, okay, and we obviously know, okay, that's prophecy for things to get worse, okay, so, hey, we don't know right now if this one is worse. I mean, it's more contagious, so you could just say from that it's worse. But all in all, hardcore plagues, hardcore pestilence are coming, okay? See how this one got, see basically how this one's a worser one, It's a more contagious form. So that's a worse pestilence. Now, like I said, through the Spirit, this Crown 19 is not close to any real hardcore pestilence that the Lord's gonna be sending. Okay, this is just a little baby thing. Okay, the Lord's gonna send some hardcore pestilence out here. Okay, all right. Okay, and different things you see in his movies. Okay, and obviously the Most High is putting that in His Spirit to flat out love to try and mutate different viruses, different diseases and stuff like that, and then just put it out in the public. So through the Spirit, we were expecting for E to come out and talk about there's a mutated form. Okay, we obviously know pestilence are gonna get worse, so we were expecting him for him to say something like that. Okay, and lo and behold, he does. Yeah, all right. These pestilence are gonna ramp up. Things are gonna get worse. People talk about 2021. That might be a better year for us to put our heads up, to look up to the future. That's not true. Okay, it's gonna be even worse. All right. Yeah, Abba Shemi Shai, he's on the rampage and he's putting judgment on this earth. Okay, he's not letting up. It's just gonna get worse. Them talk about, oh man, 2020 was a terrible year. Woo! I just hope that next year's gonna be better. That's not the case. Like, they have a brighter future. The wicked's future is just gonna get more bleak, more dark, more sad. This is what the wicked has to look forward to. Okay, this is the future of Great Babylon, aka Sodom and Egypt, aka America. Okay, and not just in America, they're gonna see more darkness, but the whole world. Okay, all right. This is the future. All right, not a better year of 2021. It's gonna be even worse, and then it's just gonna be worse. All right. This is prophecy. This is what is in the future. Okay. So now you got a new strand. It's more contagious. So just that alone, it's worse. That's a more worse, what you will call pestilence, even though it's not compared to any hardcore ones that the Most High is going to be sending. This is a small one. Obviously, the Most High God's out here, small, but it's not compared to the bigger ones he's going to send. But very simply, this is a worse one. Why? Because flat out we already know that's more contagious. Boom, it's worse. Now, it could be more deadly. It could be that. But like they said, they obviously they could do more research, but the Most High is going to continue to ramp things up. And he ramped it up by making a more contagious form of COVID. Of that. Okay, whether the Most High had mutated, obviously, in terms of, like, he just send that one out like that, or maybe he put the Spirit on Esau to straight up mutated himself and then put it out there. Whatever it was, we got a worser form. Okay? And this is nothing compared to the more terrifying things Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to do. Okay? Okay, so that's that.
About 1,000 cases, John, of this new strain have already been identified in nearly 60 parts of England, but the numbers are said to be increasing rapidly. Chris Whitty, who is the Chief Medical Advisor to the UK government, has now told the World Health Organization that this new strain can spread more quickly. Important to point out, John, there's nothing to suggest at this point that it is more dangerous or will fail to respond to vaccines or will need new tests to identify, but there is a growing sense of concern about the apparent speed it is spreading, and all this just days before lockdown restrictions are set to be relaxed for the Christmas period. Now, if this new strain and the general worsening picture in England has any impact on those plans, or if more restrictions are needed, we'll have to wait and see. As I say, Boris Johnson is due to hold a press conference in about an hour from now, but it is being reported that the UK government will move London, south east and east of England to tier 4 restrictions with an order to stay at home. So a full lockdown could be on the cards for parts of England. John, it could mean Christmas is cancelled for millions of people.
Thanks for this, Dominic. CBC's Dominic.
Yeah, so them talk about how it's more contagious. They obviously can flat out just say, obviously because it's more contagious, it's going to spread so much, so we need to obviously push, making more urgency for the vaccines, you know? Or him saying it just now he's going to, you know, you thought that he obviously put astronomical numbers for different people getting it, but now because he says more contagious, he's now going to flat out just be saying even higher grandiose numbers of this amount of people got this amount of people got that. We need to be more strict. We need people to get the vaccine. Like just from that, just from him saying it's more contagious, he can now inflate numbers out the woozah, you know, okay? As well as now, obviously put more people in fear, okay? All right? And now request more draconian style of living, you know? More stricter style of living, okay? Okay? So let's watch this one last video.
We've been concerned this week hearing about this new strain that's been circulating pretty rapidly in the UK. CDC says it's probably here undetected, and I mean, I think it's probably hard to argue against that, right?
That's right. I am concerned, and it likely is here. We have not got the genotyping, the testing deployed widely enough to know whether it's here, but I think that's happening now from what the CDC indicates in the next couple of weeks.
What does that mean just in terms of how we handle this, what the numbers are going to look like from here? President-elect Biden saying yesterday that the darkest days are ahead of us still.
Yeah, here's what to understand about the this potential, they call it a variant of concern. This viral mutation seems to drive a faster spread. It takes less virus to cause an infection. At a time where we already are at skyrocketing infection with millions of people infected, the measures we normally take will be slightly less effective in stopping it at a time when our hospitals are already in more than a third of the country full to overflowing. So the main concern is that it will accelerate the surge on surge that we've been having and extend the period of hospitalization and death rates that we've been seeing. What do we do about it? It's still the same practices that really work. It's just it requires an even higher level of vigilance if this does prove to be, and there's a lot more evidence that this transmits more efficiently. Now, it does not appear to cause, as of this moment, and there's still, more monitoring to do, but it does not seem to cause increased death, increased serious illness. And so the main concern is that it's just even more easily spread.
There's a lot of statistics that we've been running through. I heard one earlier this morning about how shopping mall traffic is down significantly from where we were, maybe down 40% from a year ago. But then anecdotally, you see things like pictures of local malls where there are big crowds in the food courts or other places.
And another thing, we obviously know E likes to do gradualism, so he could just obviously be saying it's not more dangerous. Okay, so he can just make people feel a false sense of hope, but at the same time they feel a little messed up because, oh no, it's worse, it's more You know, just rattle them up a little bit, scare them, but put them on the edge. But at the same time, say, oh, it's not worse. All these small little psychological things that Esau likes to do. And then eventually he's going to say it's more dangerous, you know? He always likes to, literally do it step by step, small, you know? So yeah, there's a new form. Now everyone's, oh shit, it's a new form. I said, but everything's fine. It's not contagious. Everything's all good. We got it under control. Like, that's how he goes. That's how he does it. He's always doing gradualism in that form. And then in the future, easily, he could say, it's worse, So Esau could flat out just, in the near future say that it's literally more deadly, Because he loves gradualism, Making people feel that everything is good, but at the same time, things are worse, Oh, things are worse, but my government got it, though. And that's a lot of confusion, man. Making people feel good and bad at the same time. And he loves doing that. And he knows that's flat out, hey, how he, does his witchcraft, Okay? Confusing people like that. Okay? But knowing E, using gradualism, like I already said, he can easily in the future say that it's actually more deadly. Can't put that past them.
At Newark Airport, Brian Sullivan, one of our anchors, was traveling last weekend and tweeted out some pictures where people were crammed on top of each other for, it seemed like miles, trying to go through security. Are we doing this right or not?
Well, there's certainly signs that people are doing a lot better than a month ago. We see mask use up. We see people restricting how much they're indoors, cutting down on eating with people outside their household. In restaurants and bars, and that just has to happen, and that is increasingly happening. And so we're seeing in places that had skyrocketing levels, they're starting to come down in many parts of the country. But there are other parts of the country where it clearly is we're behind the eight ball. Behavior's starting to change, but it's extremely hard.
Yeah, and that's basically it. Ian is pseudoscience. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. We'll start at 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So if you're unfaithful, you have no faith, you don't believe in Yahweh Shem Shai's spirit, okay? You don't believe in his word, okay? If you do not believe in him, you don't believe in his truth, if you're not down with the cause, all right, you're going to die, okay? If you're all fearful, scared, you don't think the Lord is going to protect you, well, then he's not going to protect you, okay? All right? And obviously all these people, okay, that don't believe in this truth, okay, that obviously cannot see it's impossible for them to see it, okay, they're going to die in their unfaithfulness, okay? All right? Behold, saith the Lord, I'll bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Okay? So the Lord obviously is going to be sending great destruction, great death on this place. Okay? All right? Extreme tribulation. All right? Okay? Famine, people are going to be starving, okay? People are going to be eating their kids, okay? All right? People are going to be making packs, okay? Looking for different people to eat, okay? Eating rats, roaches, okay? During that time, you're going to see Jake cooking something up, but all he's going to be able to cook up is rats because that's all he can get, okay? People be dropping dead. The scriptures talk about how, roughly paraphrasing, 1,000 shall fall at that right and 10,000 at the left, roughly paraphrasing. Basically, a lot of people dying right side beside you, okay? All that people dying just like that. No one's gonna lament them, okay? There's gonna be nobody to bury their dead bodies, okay? all manner of death is coming, okay? And one of the grand thing that the Lord is sending is obviously pestilence. We know that, okay? And these different plagues, you cannot stop them, okay? You cannot stop these different plagues, okay? You know, they will continue, okay? And obviously it will get worse. And different ancient plagues will come back as well, you know? Verse 49, I will 2 Ezra 15 to 49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Okay? So, one of the things that the Lord is sending is pestilence. Okay? All right, poverty. People be broke as hell. Okay? Messed up. Okay? All right? You know, you know, people in that day, they're going to be obviously dirty as shit. Okay? All right? These women not being able to obviously buy the women products, you know? Okay? And they're on their cycle. Okay? Smell like complete garbage. Okay? You know? People wearing rags. Okay? It's gonna be a terrible time. Okay? Widowhood. Okay? Lots of women, their men's gonna die. Okay? You know? The Lord's gonna be putting to death a lot of people. Okay? And a lot of these women, their beta cut simp man is gonna die. Okay? Lord's gonna flat out put him to death. You know? Now this is 2 Ezra chapter 16. And verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? You can't drive away the Lord's plagues. Okay? You can't stop the Lord when he sends something out. How you gonna stop the plagues that the Lord sends? Okay? You can't do that. Alright? Now obviously these different plagues, particularly in this scripture, let's keep reading. Verse 6. May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire and stubble? When it hath begun to burn, verse 7. May one turn away the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. Verse 8. The mighty Yahweh sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Okay, so you can't drive away obviously the plagues. Okay, all the death and destruction is gonna come, and you can't drive it away. But these plagues is going into specifically the ultimate plague, which is the missiles, which is the missiles. Okay, when those missiles are shot, you can't turn them away. Okay, your missile defense is bull. Okay, when the Lord sends those missiles, you can't turn them back. I'm gonna tell them to go back to where they're shot. Impossible. Okay. All right. Just as you can't drive away a hungry lion in the wood. Okay, you can't. All right. Anyone quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn. Okay. May one turn away the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. How you gonna do that? I'll tell the arrow to go back to the bow. Come on, man. You know? The Lord sends those missiles. Okay, you can't drive them away. You can't drive away the ultimate plagues. Okay? But we obviously know destruction's gonna get worse. Okay? So you can't stop the Lord when he's bringing destruction. It's gonna continue to get worse and worse. You can't drive that away. You can't stop it. The scriptures talk about how they shall not escape. Things get better. And nothing's getting better. It's getting worse. Okay? You know? Behold, verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. You see? So you can't stop the missiles, okay? You can't stop them. And we obviously know through the Spirit, you cannot stop the destruction the Lord's bringing. It's going to get worse. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay? So, flat out, this is just the beginning. Okay? This is just the beginning. Yahweh Shemi Shai, he's getting ready to turn up the heat. Alright? He's getting ready to insinuatingly turn up the heat. Okay? So if COVID was bad, this Crown 19 is bad. Okay? Alright? Things are rough. This is literally nothing. Alright? Now he cranked it up a little bit, putting that new strand that's more contagious now. People are gonna get out. Yo, these people been bugged out when Crown 19 came, and now there's a more contagious one. You know? We obviously know, just from these people flat out going crazy from the Crown 19, it coming out in the particular what you would call strict rules that Esau put on the whole planet Earth. Okay, people bugged out, went insane, lost it, terrified. Now you're telling them there's a what you would call a more contagious version. These people are men. They're gonna lose it. These people are gonna get worse and worse and worse. And this is literally nothing. It's just the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, the beginning of evils. Okay? So the Lord, he's going to continue to crank it up. Okay? All right? And there's no stopping it. Okay? The Lord shall fulfill all the things that he said. Okay? So I hope this lesson is edifying. Shalom.